And one of the injunction which followed that was go and populate this planet and then subdue it. Yes, subdue. The word which would have been translated properly, it would have been that it is now will be under your control. Yes. And one of the elements of the great controversy today is between God's control of this planet and Satan, who is claiming that it is his and he is in control of it. But now, at the very beginning, it was you and I in Adam, or it was purely humans whose faith was gluing divinity with them. Yes, God's covered with God's righteousness. They were the ones who were to complete this work with no competition. When the sin came, automatically we lost it. And now the controversy is between God and Satan. And we are in the between. Yes. Sometimes spectators, sometimes I wonder whether we are really effective participants and what have you. We are always, in terms of participation, you have to be very careful. You see, yes, true, but on a very limited level, and yet the first command was, you are now in full control of the entire planet. So far, we are exploring, and then we are seeing that God's intentions were very noble indeed. He loved us so much that when he created us, he gave us only good things, high positions. Yes, we were powerful people. We were powerful beings. We had a regal power as our Father in heaven does. Yes, regal power. While the authors don't have the terminology Father, but even if it is absent, we can look at God as our creator with good intentions, that we look like him. Yes, we carry out his designs for this planet. Yes, we control his creation. Yes, his creation now it has become to be under our control. Yes, we can as well say we are actually co-heir in the entire universe, because this planet is part of the universe, and it is we humans who control this very planet, which is in the entire universe. Co-heir, you see, yes, our Father, co-worker with our Father. No wonder the New Testament will play with these terminologies a lot, especially Paul, who was a theologian by training. The problem with Paul, a lot of what he is saying are conclusions which need a long background to penetrate. Yes, which need this background. So please don't be tired of the background. We are soon recapping recapping in one or two presentations. We may recap completely, but we needed this in place because we don't think about it. Yes, God's divinity, God's love, which just flows out freely out of him. Not even a single point of malice in it. Why can't I desire to go and live there? Lastly, for now, let us explore the idea of the freedom of choice. A lot has been spoken about the freedom of choice. But for me, I would like to put it in the context of righteousness of faith. You see? Because after careful study, I have come to find out that the entire Bible talks about salvation history. It may have some branches here and there. Being humans are the ones who are really passing across what they thought was God's revelation somewhere. But it is sticking primarily on salvation history. And we are soon, after recapping, we will begin salvation history. You see? And we will see what God did and how much it deserves attention. So he gives us to choose between God, where he's between the Creator, or something else. Yes. God, true God, you have created me in your own image. Oh, I look like you. You have given me all of these things, yes. But I don't think that I really love you. You have that choice. Since when he was being created, he wasn't consulted because he wasn't present. Something which is again going to be different in the new creation, which we will discuss. In the new creation, we are now present. Yes, choices can be made freely, very freely indeed. Yes, but at first, Adam, and at that very creation, God said, "Let me give him a chance." And when he chooses for me, then he will live in happiness with me. When he chooses that what I have seen so far you have done for me deserves a permanent loyalty to you, deserves a permanent faith, unshakable faith, as you, as my Creator and my friend. I'll be yours forever. The situation would have been different, because that's precisely what God loves. God loves the response of his creatures to come out of them freely. Yes, I choose for my God freely. And God does not coerce that love me. He will only reveal himself. We are soon to enter into that area. This recapping or this summary is only in one or two presentations, we will have to close it and then begin a journey of God's revelation. You see? Yes. But now here you are, Adam had to choose. The author, or the authors of the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and 2, have hinted on a lot of things which are very deep in our consideration of righteousness by faith. First of all, righteousness by faith can only be understood if you have understood God's character. If you have not understood God's character, you can't understand the righteousness of faith. If God's character is capricious, is the one of anger now, and then the other day is appeased by some offerings, and then if you give a few coins in the envelope, he will become so happy, and he will be beside himself, and he will pour all the blessings to you. Then you will never understand the righteousness of God. You will never. Because preachers, sinful writers and sinful preachers, whom God has chosen like ourselves to pass across his words, we have limitations which are beyond description. Yes. That's why we quote texts from in an hour. I can wash you down with the 10 Bible texts, randomly chosen from Exodus, then another one is from Ruth, Psalms, at the end we end with the Revelation, and then say, hey, this is serious, because that's the way we are. We have a problem of digesting our Father in heaven, partly because of our sinful limitations and the environment and nature also. All of those militate against us to fully understand. But you cannot fully understand righteousness by faith, and it becomes an obsession in your life that you want to pass it across to other people, unless you have fully understood who God is. Now, these authors here, chapter 3, it is a very fatal chapter, a dangerous one to say the least. There, Adam, or we begin with Eve, cracked. Is her faith cracked? To a very to what appears a very simple conversation, and nobody coerced her to crack. It was just a conversation. Can't you see me? Me, I am eating. Can't you see me? Can't you eat? No, we can't eat. No. A very simple conversation. It is going to turn fatal. Whenever I read that chapter, I say, maybe the authors had something they didn't say. But this conversation appears so innocuous. How come it has become so fatal at last? Yes, it has become very fatal. The moment the authors say the woman looked at the tree or the fruit, and immediately she was convinced that it can offer wisdom. that was the first crack of faith, and the groove was getting loose. Yes. The day you eat on this fruit, you will be like God himself. So we are just like him, but we aren't him himself. Yeah, but a creature, you can't be the creator, at least. That would have been common sense. But it apparently wasn't, it didn't sound that common sense, that common. Yes, it was that you will be like him. You will know something which he knows, which by now, before you eat on this particular tree, you don't know yourself. And when you will know it, you will not just be like a God. You will really be him almost. Yeah, well, completely. You will be, because you will know precisely what he knows. Raising a doubt in Eva's thinking that why was God hiding us this element from us? Why did he show us this? What is he hiding from us? What is he hiding from us? Yes. Don't you see that faith is cracking? Faith has cracked. Don't you want to know what God knows, what you don't know? Yourself. Are you contented with that to be his creatures which lack the knowledge he has himself, which you don't have? Had Eva said, well, I think he wished well for us not to know that. This idea, which we'd always tinker with, that the moment you eat on this one, you will die, it is, there was no way the first couple could know death at that particular time. Death, what does the death mean? Death now in the universe could be well understood, I think, due to our planet here, I think. But before our planet here, you talk of death. And could anybody grasp the implications of that term, death? The implications? It is just like we nowadays. Can you grasp that you are living forever and ever, and you know precisely, and you can with the confidence say, now I know what it means to live forever and ever? That you live beyond the time, in endless time. That one also we cannot handle it for now. We can only believe it by faith of what it was. Death, these people would have just believed God by faith only and say, whatever that may mean, let us only be contented with what our Creator is telling us. I think that is the way to go with faith. And we will continue to explore it more and more slowly as we come to the conclusion of this series of righteousness, the background of righteousness or faith, and we swing into the main topic, of righteousness by faith.